Today's topic is file handling in Python. Now, first and foremost question is, what is the need of a file? You all know in a computer system we have RAM, random access memory, where we can store data. But remember, the data stored in RAM are not permanent. That is why RAM is also known as volatile memory. So where the data is stored? Data are basically stored in the form of file, and these files are written or stored onto secondary storage device such as hard disk. Here we are going to learn how to read and write data in a data file. Now, the data file is a computer file which stores data to be used by computer system. Now you know that we can save any Python program by simply giving a name such as A, and the default extension is py. So a.py stores the program. What is the meaning of storing the program? That means that program is written, stored onto the hard disk in the form of a file a.py. Now I'll ask you a question. It will surely store the program. But if I ask you how to store the output, how to store the result, then file handling comes here, which basically stores the output data. The program is stored when we simply click on save and give a file name. It stores a program file, and that is known as program file such as a.py. But if you want to store the output data, for that purpose you have to learn file handling concept. Now the data file is what? Basically stores the output data. In Python we have two types of file. One is text file and the second is binary file. Now what is a text file? File of characters. File of characters, and stores information in ASCII, which you know, American Standard Code for Information Interchange, or Unicode, that is unique coding system. Now each line is terminated by end line character. For example, I have written a line hello quota. Now if I want to terminate this line, end this line, so that we have to also write \n. Otherwise, the next line which we are going to store is considered as the same line. So to terminate a line, we need an end line character, that is \n in a text file. Second is binary file. What are binary files? Binary files are stored in binary format. A binary file is a computer readable file. Now remember, text file uses two coding patterns. One is ASCII or Unicode, whereas binary files, whatever we write in the binary files are stored as it is in computer and in the binary format. All executed programs are stored in binary file. It contains data in the same format in which the information, or you can say informations, are held in the memory. Now next point comes here, opening and closing of files. Now I'll ask you a simple question. If I tell you write something in your copy, what do you do first? First you open the copy, and once the written work is completed, you close the copy or your register. Same way, when you are going to read or write file in Python, you have to open it. Open method is used for this purpose, and the definition is used to data. The prototype or the grammar of open function is file obj is equals to, that is a user defined identifier. Then simply you have to write equals to, and then you have to use the function open, and then you have to write any file name, and also you have to write mode. Mode I will explain you just now. Next is close method. To close file we use close method. What it does, it simply closes the file, but the meaning of that, after that you cannot write anything more in that particular data file, and the grammar for this is file obj dot close. When we open the file, the prototype which we have given is, suppose we have take CF. This is the object we are taking. CF is equals to open text 1.txt. This is the name of the file, and then here I am writing W. Now what is the meaning of W here? W is a mode, which means write. That means the file is open to write data, and that is a text file. Now there are different types of file access modes are there. R, that is read mode. W, write mode. R plus read and write mode. W plus write and read mode. Read binary. Then it comes here A, append. Okay, append mode. Now I'll explain you more in this part. R simply for read, W for write, R plus read and write. Then W is write and read. RB read binary, WB is write binary, RB means read binary and write, etc. Now some more functions you have to learn for file handling. One is the read function. Now the definition here I have given, used to read n bytes, which means if you have 100 bytes are there in a data file, the size of the file is 100 bytes, it will read all 100 bytes together. If we write read x, here x means, I'll take example here, read 15. That means it will read only 15 bytes. Next line is read line. Used to read one line, that is up to end line \n. Suppose we have 3 lines and each line is terminated by \n. So read line will read only one line at a time. Similarly, if we give read line x, example again I'll take here, read line, suppose I'll give 15 here. So what is the definition here? Read line x used to read up to x means 15 characters or \n, whichever comes earlier. Suppose after the 10th character only \n is there, so it will read up to 10 characters. Next is write. Write is used to write data or text. Here S is basically a string or a text. Write \n is used to write end line character. Used to write end line character. That means line completes there. Write lines is used to write number of lines. Now you are aware we are having different modes for the file, and also we have different types of functions for reading and writing. For reading we have read, read line and read lines. For writing we have write and write lines. Now we will start with first example of text file. Question here is write a program to write 3 city names in a text file. Now what I am doing here? Here I am writing CF equals to open city.cat. Now CF is the object, simply an identifier. Open is the method. City.dat is the data file name, or you can say text file name, and W is the mode. Now here I am using a loop. This loop will execute 3 times, that is 0, 1, 2, and it will ask you to enter city name 3 times. Now suppose I have entered the city as Kota, Delhi, and you can say Jaipur. Now first time Kota is entered and it is written or stored in the file. Then Delhi is there, then again it is written, and then Jaipur, again it is written. This is the first program. After that we will close. So 3 lines are written: Kota, Delhi, Jaipur, or you can say 3 city names are written. Now the second question here is write a program to read data from city.dat. Remember, the file name should be same, otherwise you will not get the result. Here I am taking RF. This is simply an identifier, user defined word. RF is an object equals to open. Open method we are using city.dat, and just notice here. Here we have used W, which is used to write, and here the mode is R to read the data. The function which we are using here is S is equals to ref.read. So what it will do, it will read all the 3 data together: Kota, Delhi, and Jaipur. And while printing also, it will give you in this format, in this way, the output. Finally we close. Now you can use here, instead of read, you can also use read line, and the result will come same. Now your question may come here, okay, read reads n bytes, that is all bytes, whereas read reads a single line. Now what happens here, while storing the data, we have not written the end line terminator, the \n. Now I am making little modification in the same program so that you will see the different output. What I am doing here, just notice the same program. I am making some modification here. After writing cf.write n, I am writing here cf.write \n. What I am writing? \n. \n is end line terminator, and then I am writing here cf.close. Now what happens? You enter data in the same way: Kota, Delhi, Jaipur. Now when you use here S is equals to rf.read, it will give you the result not in this format, rather it will give you first Kota, Delhi, and then Jaipur, all in 3 different lines. Is it clear to you? What is the reason? The end line is there. So one line is completed, then the second line, then the third line. Now in the same example here, now I am using read line. Now what will be the effect? In the first program, read and read line was giving the same output, that is Kota, Delhi, Jaipur in same line. But in this case, you will get the result only as Kota, because end of line is there. So read line will read one line and it will stop there only. Now you have learned how to read and write the data. Now W is used to write, but the problem with W is that every time you enter the new data, it first deletes the old data and then writes the new data. If you want to prevent the old data and then you want to write the new data, then instead of W, you have to use here A mode. A stands for append or add more records in a file. Now in the next program, that is write a program to count total number of lines starting with M. The same file which we are taking, and suppose we have stored data in it are Mumbai, Delhi, Jaipur, Manipur, Maharashtra, and these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines are there. But we are giving the instruction to the computer to count only those lines which starts with M. So this line is starting with M, this is starting with M, and this is starting with M. The same procedure will use. First we have to open a file, that is rf equals to open ct.txt r. Then we are taken here a simple variable c is equals to 0 that works as a counter, that is used for counting purpose. S is equals to rf dot read lines. Now what it will do, it will read all the lines, and those lines will be stored in a list format. That is first line in the index number 0, then the second is index number 1, 2 and so on. Now here I am using a loop for I in S. So what happens, the first index or the first line is Mumbai. The first character of this string is M, that's why I am writing here I0 equals to, not single equal, rather double equals to. Single equals to is used for assignment and double equal is used for comparison. So we are comparing, that is I0 equals to M, yes. Then what happens, C is equals to 0 plus 1 is equals to 1. The loop goes back from here. Next is Delhi. The I0 is D, so it is not counted. Then next is Jaipur, that is I0 is J. But in the next line, I0 is M, so that C is equals to 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. Then in the next line, Maharashtra, then again the first character is M, so that 2 plus 1 is equals to 3. Once the loop is completed, it will come to the next line and it will show you the result as total number of lines starting with MR3, and finally close the file. That's all for today. We will meet in the next class very soon.